Miss Lake is with us right now. Kari, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good to be with you, Mike. Good morning.
Bright and early in Arizona. I appreciate you. Are you a night owl or are you a morning person?
Actually, I've become both. When you're running for office, you stay up late. I'm in D.C. right now.
Oh, good.
I was here yesterday when the news broke that Senator Sinema was not going to run for re-election. I'm doing an event with the NRSC, who has endorsed me tonight, a fundraising event. So I'm happy to be here. And also,
perfect. Well, thanks for taking the time.
Back to Arizona as well.
Yeah, totally. Well, she said, Kyrsten Sinema, she said, because I choose civility, understanding, listening, working together to get stuff done, I will leave the Senate at the end of the year, which is like a little jab at the people who are still staying and perhaps even the people who want the job like you. Why is she leaving? Were you surprised?
I just think there's no path to victory for her. I mean, we've done the polling. I'm sure she's done the polling. Everyone's done the polling, and she can't win. You can't win with 14% of the vote, and that's about what she would get. Maybe if she got lucky, 19% of the vote, but that's not enough to win. So I think she's just, realizing there's no path to victory. I'm about working together as well, but some of the things that she was working toward, especially with that last piece of legislation, which was just disastrous when it came to securing our border, because it didn't secure the border. And I think there's times for compromise, and there's times where you have to stand up and say, no, we can't compromise when it comes to the safety and security of the American people. And right now, with that wide open border, we do not have safety and security. I don't know when you're compromising, who are you compromising with? The cartels? Because that really is what it's about. You're giving them a free pass to smuggle people into our country, smuggle drugs into our country, and you're hurting the American people. So there's always a time for working together and compromising, but not when it's the safety and lives of the American people that are on the line.
She's positioned herself as a independent, like a maverick, right? Like McCain, right? Like a maverick, Arizona, whatever. But she's independent, centrist. Why are so many of those people leaving the Senate right now?
I don't know why they're leaving, other than they know they can't win and that their brand of politics is not what the people want. The people want to send fighters to Washington, D.C., who are going to stand up for we the people and put America first. And the people, you mentioned some of the others who were stepping down. They're not America first. And I think that Washington, D.C. is quickly learning and understanding, I'm seeing it, that they understand President Trump is coming back, and we're going to start putting the American people first. We're going to start putting the Constitution first. And this is kind of like, get on board or step aside, because we're going to do business for the people.
And they're stepping aside. And tell me about Arizona. Arizona is a funny state, right? It's always one of those weird, it's just a weird mavericky state. Like, what do we need to know about Arizona and how Arizona is different politically than other places?
Arizona is a place where so many people have that kind of pioneer spirit where they say, I'm packing up and I'm moving to Arizona. A third of our population comes from the Midwest and cooler climates. A lot of them come from California, and then you've got a lot who are just born in Arizona. So it's kind of a mixture of all kinds of different Americans who just love the beauty of Arizona and the freedom in Arizona. Unfortunately, we're facing a real crisis right now with the wide open border. We've got elections that aren't run particularly well. And Ruben Gallego, who is my opponent, he's the Democrat, the radical Democrat running, does not represent that spirit that you just talked about in Arizona. I mean, this is a guy who is not like past Democrats. He makes Mark Kelly look conservative. He's responsible, along with Biden, for the wide open border and the crime wave we're seeing, yet he wants to take away our Second Amendment rights. He threatened ICE agents for doing their job enforcing immigration laws. He's attended defund the police rallies. This guy is right there on the verge of being a full-blown Marxist. He supports biological males competing with our girls and young women in high school and college sports. He voted to allow illegals to vote. I mean, that's their plan. 9 million people have poured across. They want all of them to sign up to vote. And he supports a bill that would raise gas prices by $1. Right now, Arizonans are struggling. They can't even afford to fill their cars up, and he wants to raise gas prices. So he's out of touch, and We're going to beat him. We're going to defeat him, and we're going to take the needs of the people of Arizona to Washington, D.C., and stand up for them and secure that border with President Trump.
So you argue he's too far to the left. Would some argue that you're too far to the right for Arizona?
Well, I think the fake news media has said that. Absolutely, they've said that. But I don't know. Let me ask your listeners this morning, and I'm sure there's some people who aren't, hardcore Republicans. Maybe they're somewhere in the middle, and maybe they're even Democrats. Do you want safe streets? Do you want to have fully funded police departments so that when you call 911, someone shows up? Do you want to have a border where millions of people aren't pouring across unvetted illegally, taking our housing, taking our health services, and being paid for by the taxpayer? Do you want to have your kids get an education where they're actually prepared when they graduate from high school for the jobs that are out there? I mean, these are real basic things. Do you want peace or do you want war? I don't think it's radical to want to have peace and prosperity for all Americans. The fake news media is so petrified of me. I mean, they did call me the most dangerous politician in America because they know that I can't be bought and bribed and paid for when I get to D.C., that I'm actually going to work for the people. And they're afraid of that. So they're lashing out and telling all kinds of lies that I'm extreme, and I'm not.
Because there's a parallel here. And we only got about 3 minutes. But so there's the first question is, how do you run your campaign now moving forward, trying to get some of that former Kyrsten Sinema support for you, right? It'd be nice to get a certain percentage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Let's do part one.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm absolutely working on that, and I have been. And even when I was running for governor, I ran a campaign that wasn't, we got to get beyond just Democrat, Republican, and realize that we have some really big problems right now. And guess what? They are solvable. I mean, sometimes we get so wrapped up in all the things going wrong that we think we'll never get out of this mess. No, we can. We can start to get out of this mess. And I think the way that we do it is with show people some optimism. I'm very optimistic about our future and confident that we can get out of these mess and this problem, because we watched how President Trump came in his first term and quickly turned things around. And so we know that if we get back to those America First policies, we can turn the economy around. We can reignite and get our energy sector moving again so that we are energy independent. We bring our gas prices down. We watch inflation come down. And we've got an economy that's thriving once again, especially when we start bringing manufacturing back and encouraging companies to bring their manufacturing back or start manufacturing here. We're going to start seeing high-paying jobs. That's going to increase revenues. We're going to start paying down our debt. And first and foremost, securing the border, because it's affecting everyone now. And, not that I look at polling all the time, but if you do look at polling in all 50 states, in all states now, we're looking at the concern over the wide open border as being the number one issue, even for Democrats in this country. So we've got to do something about it. I'm ready to go to D.C. and make that a top priority.
Well, Trump mentioned Arizona yesterday, how Arizona and California, the governors there, are not doing anything about the border. You surely would have if you were governor there, no question. I think the parallel question is with Trump and Nikki Haley supporters. So we've just been looking at Colorado. It's close to you. So 273,000 people voted for Nikki Haley in the Colorado primary yesterday. What is your advice to Donald Trump to somehow embrace those former Nikki Haley supporters?
Well, she was attracting a lot of Democrats, and a lot of people were crossing over just to kind of poke a stick in the eye of President Trump. I think he has been conciliatory. He has been trying to be magnanimous and reach out. I remember I was there in Iowa when he won. He gave a great speech. He said he wants to bring the party together, and she's just continued to run with no chance. And now I'm hearing she's going to step aside today, but still won't endorse President Trump. Everyone is expecting President Trump to unify. Well, it'd be nice if the people who are losing to him would also want to unify. And so I think it goes both ways. I know that President Trump is a forgiving person. I know him personally. He's reached out. People who've said terrible things about him and come around and endorse him, he welcomes back in with open arms. And I do, at the end of the day, Mike, want to welcome all Republicans back into this party. But this is the America First Republican Party. And for those people who want to come in and solve the problems of the American people, all American people, then I think we should welcome them back in with open arms. And I hope that Nikki Haley, when she announces that she's stepping aside today, will do so with a tone that shows that she, too, wants to come together. She, too, wants to solve the problems that the American people are facing. And she wants to come into the fold and be America first.
That's such a good point. It's we need to unify. So everyone unify with me. If everyone could just unify with me right now, then we can have unity that we need in our country. Give me a break. Kari, we got to run. What is your website? People can support you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and I do want to unify. I'm not just saying unify with me. I'm willing to work with.
No. That's them saying. It's Nikki Haley saying unify with me.
She's saying unify with me, and she's not even winning. Yes, KariLake.com, KARILAKE.com. We must defeat Ruben Gallego. This is a different type of Democrat. It's really frightening what he wants to do and what his vision for America is. It's not very bright. Yeah. So I could use everyone's help. KariLake.com. I appreciate it, and thanks.
We'll do it.
For what you do,
Kari. It's an honor. Thank you, ma'am. We'll see you all the way to DC, all the way to victory.